Okay, should be live. I'm gonna double check on YouTube because
Okay.
you know how have you ever heard of the millennial pause, Larry?
I have not.
Okay, so there's this thing that always happens when people above the age of about 28 or so, when they're recording a video, and we will hit the button and we'll wait a moment to make sure that it's actually recording, right? Because we grew up in an era where cameras, they took a moment to actually start.
Yeah.
But if you are below about the age of 28, you don't do that because you grew up in an era where the cameras just worked right away. So
Yeah.
if you're ever watching Instagram Reels or TikToks, and at the very beginning of it, there's just like a half second of nothing happening. That's the millennial pause because they're waiting to make sure it's recording, and that's what I'm doing right now with the YouTube recording.
I feel like that's something I'm just going to see every
Yes,
video now.
once I figured out what it was, it made a lot of sense to me because I absolutely still do it every time I hit record on a phone or whatever. So no,
Nice, nice.
the new Zoomers doing whatever. Anyway, welcome everyone. I don't know how many people are actually here already, but I'm sure people will trickle in over the next however long. I actually don't know how many viewers we're gonna get from this, but I am of course Josh Tushy Howard. I'm joined today by Larry, and is Larold your real last name?
It's not. It's
Okay.
just, it's just a gamer thing. Do you want to hear the origin?
Sure, I'm down.
Sure. So I was a long time World of Warcraft player,
Hmm.
and I wanted to create a mage.
Okay.
So I was trying to think of mage names. I type in Harry Potter. It's taken. I'm like, you
Can't
know
believe
what?
it.
I was like, how about Larry Potter? I type it in, it works, it pops off. And I
Nice.
swear I've been Larry ever since.
Wait, so is
The
Larry not
re
even your real name?
Oh no. No.
Oh. Okay. Do you want me to call you Larry, or do you want to go by something
Yeah,
else?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's what everybody calls me by. I get to Pittsburgh, right?
Mhm.
In January. Turns out there's like 15 different Larrys. And I was like, well, dang. Uh, I guess I don't know. I was like, you know what? My name's Larold now. And everybody just calls me Larold or Larry or whatever.
That's
It's
really
it's not
funny.
that serious.
That is really funny. I don't think I'm trying to think if I actually know a single Larry on the West Coast. And I can't think of one that I've ever met. So, real or not, Larry, congratulations, you're the first in my life. Okay,
I'm here.
let's go ahead and start talking about it a little bit. One of the things that I'm kind of curious about is how you found my channel. Because I'm definitely not the biggest guard YouTuber.
So, let me here's my Warhammer journey so far.
Okay.
I started with the Ultimate Starter set, and I took the Space Marine side from there, and that's how I started. I built out an Ultramarine army.
Hmm.
And then I was like, you know what? I think I know enough about the game now. I want to try a different army. I
Mm,
walked into the store. I looked at the Dominus Knights box, and I said, this is what I need to do.
nice.
I start playing with knights. I do exactly one RTT with knights. I go 2-1. It was a nice debut. It was my first RTT.
Hmm.
2-1. I was like, this is miserable. I was like, I can't play knights because the thing about knights is you only have so many models, right?
Yeah.
And when one of those models die or a big knight dies,
Yeah.
it just feels so bad. They also don't have many attacks either, right? So if you whiff, on a
Yeah.
on your roll, that's it for your turn. That also felt bad. I give Knights players their due because it kind of it hurt my mental health there for a second.
I get you. I get you.
I started listening to Gaunt's Ghosts,
Okay. Nice.
first and only the books, and I fell in love with the Guard. Started collecting Guard, and I've been a Guard player since roughly September of last year. I did
Mm,
my first real RTT with Guard in February, and it was right around that time where I was like, okay, I really need to start trying to figure out what I'm doing here.
yeah.
So it started with Morty and Glory. I tried to find, different outlets and resources. It was Morning and Glory, and then you popped onto my channel, or excuse me, my recommended page.
Hmm.
I opened one of your videos, and it was one of your officer training schools, and I was
Nice.
like, okay, this is it. This is it. And I swear, I've been watching you for months, Joshi.
That's awesome. Yeah. Because I
Hmm.
remember when you responded to like one of the YouTube things, it was like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. So I do want to say this real quick for anybody who's like currently watching this. One of the big reasons why I'm willing to do this for Larry and not necessarily everybody who happens to be on stream is because Larry, you had an absolutely awesome attitude like the entire time I was watching, and even though some of the decisions you made on the board pained me, you were having a great time, and that is one of the biggest reasons why I was like, yeah, this guy clearly just loves the game. If he wants to get better, I am very willing to help him out. But if anybody else is watching, if you are like getting down on yourself or just like not happy about the game, I'm way less likely to do this for you guys in the future. But if you're clearly having a great time on stream, don't worry, like hit me up. Like, I love working with people who are excited about what they're doing, even if things are not going well, they're still having a good time. So if you are on stream, firstly, let me know that it's you, and then, we can talk about it from there. It is way easier as well for me to do these like match reviews if you lose. Like it's just way easier to be like, odd, here's why you lost. When it's just like, you did this thing and it shouldn't have worked, but it did. So like, as a dice game, that does sometimes happen. Anyway, I want to thank everybody who's shown up as well. Okay, so Larry, let's go ahead and talk about the event that you actually went to at Salt City GT. I have your list up on stream, and that makes me realize I should probably share that with you so you can.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you
that'd be
go.
great.
All right, now you should be
Cool.
able to
I can see
see.
it.
Could you go ahead and take us through the list that you brought and what the general like ideas behind it were?
Yeah, definitely. I'll just go from the top.
Mhm.
So I ran Ursula Creed by herself.
Okay.
And my reasoning for doing that was because I didn't really have a reason to bring a command squad and attach her and make the big brick because I was running mostly, squadron units.
Hmm.
What I wanted to do was essentially get the free Fields of Fire and then just kind of roll the four up to see if I could get the free CP. And
Yeah.
I would say it worked. It worked as intended. It's about 50% of the time. I brought the two Rogodorn commanders, no enhancements, one tech priest because I had the extra points for it, really.
Hmm.
Two Casterkin, which I love the models.
Fair.
I love the models, and I really wanted to try and get more practice in with their mortal wounds. One of the big guard players in the Pittsburgh area really was like, "Hey, don't give up on Casterkin. They're a little bit, you know, they take some reps to
Yeah.
get used to and stuff."
Who is it, by
The
the way?
Aquilon, his name, his name's Eric. He switches between like guard and Eldar.
Do you know what his last name is?
He's I think his last name's I don't want to dox him, but
I mean,
he probably won't mind. Eric Haneda, I believe is
oh
his name.
yeah, I've seen his name pop up before. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he's great guy, great guy. I played him
Hmm.
at a RTT, and he was like, Castrian are great. You just gotta
Yeah.
get your reps in. The Aquilons, I love the Aquilons, especially with their reduction in points down to 100.
Hmm.
Having the Aquilons, using reinforcements on the Aquilons to get that 6-inch deep strike again and harass the backfield.
Hmm.
They were kind of my MVP
Nice.
throughout the matchups. The Hellhound with the Kim Cannon, I love how tanky the Hellhound is.
Hmm.
It's also I feel really cheap for the stats that it has. I went with the Kim Cannon because I had one match where I was playing a friend who had Deathwing Terminators and I just melted them with the Kim cannons with the anti infantry
Hmm.
2 up, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna run the Kim cannons and I'm gonna run the Meltas and get that shot. It was something I actually hadn't tried before with the Meltas, but
Yeah.
I used it once before. Um,
I think I have the wrong number of battle tanks here. I think you had two.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say I had two battle tanks. Yeah, I had two battle tanks and then three scout sentinels. I just like the way that the battle tanks perform
hmm
when, especially against assault armies, because I can kind of react a little bit instead of being aggressive. They
hmm
get onto the point, I bring the battle tank out, and I can just get those rerolls in, and it tends to be pretty efficient. Um, I bought three scout sentinels to this tournament because I just wanted more presence in the mid board.
hmm
I usually only run two, but I ran three this time just to get more presence in the mid board. And during recon is so good. It's really good. And then just the two chimeras to get the casterkin in. The 6-inch scout at the beginning of the game works really well.
Yeah.
And that's the list
Nice.
really.
All right. Now, so firstly, I'm gonna does this do what I want it to? It does not. Click, click. Okay, so this one just doesn't exist, right? Okay.
You're fine.
Um, what do you feel about having watched or having played this event? Would you want to change about the list that you brought?
If if I'm playing this level of vehicles again,
hmm
I would not play Ursula
Okay.
for her 85 points. I felt like that was kind of expensive for what I was getting. I feel like the 10 Cadians, I would bring them every game. I would almost say they're auto include just because of the screening that they're able to do,
Yeah.
and then the sticking in the home objective. Um, I wouldn't bring that third Scout Sentinel again.
Okay.
I mean, as soon as they were out, as soon as I exposed them, they were gone.
Yeah.
You know, I would I would switch from the Chem Cannon, and this is actually something I learned from your Discord.
Okay.
The Chem Cannon, I would get rid of the Chem Cannon, go back to the Inferno Cannon, but
Yeah. Okay.
I would put the heavy bolters on the Hellhound. That way I can strip cover from 36 inches away. That's something I learned just yesterday
Yeah.
from your
Nice.
channel. And I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So I think so. This is with the Kim Cannons. That was going to be one of the first things. Is like there are a couple of matchups right now where the Chem Cannon is great. The only one that we should be worried about though is Death Guard. And that's one of the big reasons why I don't like the Chem Cannon in general is because like yeah, you could just kill 7 Marines, but realistically you're gonna roll a 2 on your number of shots and then you're gonna roll a 1 to wound. You're actually gonna kill like 1 Marine, right? Like it's
yeah,
just not that many. Like it doesn't really perform, but it is really good into Death Shroud Terminators. Is about the only reason why I would bring like a Chem Cannon right now because Death Guard is good, and that data sheet being 4 wounds and anti infantry 2+ ends up stacking up really nicely. The
yeah.
Bolter versus Melta, I am generally in favor of the Melta just because like most of the time, like the difference between 18-inch range and 36-inch range, it does matter sometimes, but we can usually position in such a way where the 18-inch range of the Melta is not a downside. So that'll be one of the things to kind of think about. If whenever I see someone take a bolter on a Hellhound, I'm like, okay, sure, that's fine. But usually, I think the Melta is going to still be better in most of the game. So something to think about. Um,
Okay.
one of the things that I would have also considered in this is I think in combined arms it is hard to justify not including Ursula Creed, just because Fields of Fire for free. So here's the way that I like to think about it, right? We get every battle round we get 2 CP, right?
Yep.
Ursula and Lord Solar both give us 1, right? Because Lord Solar just gives us 1. Ursa Creed, we do a stratagem for 1 discount. As long as we use it, Ursa Creed gives us CP every battle round, right?
Yeah.
And then, on average, if that is the only stratagem we're using on something with a Foxcaster, we're getting zero point 0.5 extra CP per battle round. But realistically, we're gonna have like, we're gonna do like another one on something with a Voxcaster. So most of the time, it's actually like, zero point 0.6 or zero point 0.7, which means that on average, we're playing every battle round with about 3.7 CP,
I can see that.
right?
I
And so
can see it
it's,
because we're doing Fields of Fire
yeah,
every
almost every
turn.
turn, yeah. And so, just getting, it's not just that the orders are nice. I would play her, I don't know if I'd play her at 85 with no orders, but I'd still play her at like 60 with no orders.
Gotcha.
Right. And so that's like one of the things that I think it's just so valuable to have all that extra CP. The one other thing that I think is interesting and kind of like you touched on is the third Scout Sentinel. I have generally struggled to justify putting a second Scout Sentinel in a lot of my lists, but I know people who are better than me are still doing it with success. So that is what it is. The first thing that kind of pops to mind is if we dropped like a Scout Sentinel and the Engine Seer, and then we look to put in like another unit of dudes, or we try and like shimmy some points around somewhere, or to find a third unit of Kazarkin, something like that. But
Okay.
other than that, like to be honest, when I look at this list, the only thing that I didn't like, the only thing that was like, this should change is the Chem Cannons. Everything else is like, if you just ran this list again, it changed the Chem Cannons, I'd be like, yeah, that looks like a good list to me.
Cool. Cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a third set of Casterkin. The only reason I didn't play them is because they're not Wizzy, because I built them
Uh,
when I was very young in the game. So they're
yeah.
just all las guns
Gotcha.
and
You
stuff.
should have just
So
said you were playing back in ninth edition, because that was a real thing that you would do with Kazarkin in ninth edition.
oh, that's it.
Yeah. You just gotta lie but when you started playing. But yeah, just kind of touching on the Kazarkin as well, I would argue that Kazarkin are the reason why you see most like top guard players play with two or three of them is because I think Kazarkin are one of the most skill expressive pieces in the entire guard codex. Right? Like
Yeah.
you can see the difference between someone who understands how to use Kazarkin well and someone who doesn't really know how to use them. And if you can get good with this unit, you can like it does things that nothing else in the guard codex can.
Gotcha.
Which is really
Gotcha.
good. So we'll go ahead and talk about that a little bit more. Next thing I want to talk about, Larry, let's go ahead and take a look at Amelia's list again. Okay. So you obviously played this. A couple of things that I kind of want to look at from this is this was your first time playing up against Subterranean Assault, right?
Yep, that's correct.
So what did you know about Subterranean Assault like going into the game at the beginning?
Joshi, I'm not lying to you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
The only thing I knew about Subterranean was that they just had an uppy downy
Mm-hmm.
type of mechanic. I wasn't familiar on how the whole 9-inch, 6-inch thing worked,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I think I had saw Subterranean on stream one time via War Games Live,
Gotcha.
and
Totally
and
fair.
that was it.
That is one of the things that will happen at tournaments. You will play up against detachments and armies. You're just like, "Ooh, I have no idea what this does," and that sometimes that happens. But have you played up against any other armies that are like have a lot of up down? Like, were you playing Bridgehead at all? Did you play any like Grey Knights beforehand?
So, not uppy downy in that sense, but
Mm,
my first match was actually against Brad Chester
nice.
and his Eldar.
Yeah.
I had no clue who Brad Chester was, by the way, but the way that he was maneuvering, that mobility,
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know what to do with this. Like this mobility is crazy,
Yeah.
you
Good
know?
players like make fast armies feel even faster. It's nuts. And Brad Chester, I think he went on
Yeah,
to win the event, right?
he did.
Yeah, yeah,
He
he's a
did.
very, very good player. So losing to him is like not a knock in any way. That's just kind of to be
Oh yeah,
expected.
yeah. It's
Okay,
super cool guy.
yeah.
So
Let's go ahead and talk about Subterranean Assault a little bit. We're not going to go into this super in depth, but what are the things that we know about Subterranean Assault, and what are the things that we should be able to get from our opponent? The first thing, Deep Strike. That's a B. Deep Strike. This army has so much deep strike, and deep strike means mobility. This army can be anywhere it wants at any time, basically, right? Right. This army can just be anywhere it wants at any time. That's the whole thing,
Yep.
right? What else do we know about this army? Two, there's a lot of monsters. We have Nero Tyrant, Trigon, Winged Hive Tyrant, Norn, Tyrannofex, monsters. All
I
right.
was surprised how many monsters were on
Yeah.
the list for such a mobility list. You expect that for, the smaller, more
Yeah.
infantry-based stuff.
That's one of the things that Subterranean Assault actually does really well is it enables there are units that are good in Subterranean Assault because their primary weakness in the Tyrannus Codex is they aren't very mobile, and this solves that problem for a lot of them. Um, I there's not a lot in here that I think really is uh super demonstrates that. The Tyrannofex is probably the best one where it's like it's not that mobile, but suddenly when it can just move around the board whenever, you end up getting that quite a bit. Okay,
Yeah.
third thing that we need to know about is Lone Op. Okay, there's a lot of lone operative in this. Lictor,
Yep.
Lictor, Near Lictor, they're all lone operatives. That means that we're going to have to go kill them, right? That means we have to get close to kill them, and depending on how that works, we'll see how it goes. The last thing we need to know about this Tyranids in general is the Biovore. Free scoring. There's a lot of things in the deck that the Biovore just scores for free, and there's not a lot you can do about it, right?
Yeah.
It's engaged in all fronts. That's an extra point or two that the Biovore existing is going to score for them. Behind enemy lines, you can screen it out depending on like the deployment zone, but like realistically, you should kind of expect that you're probably going to be able to fit a spore mine somewhere if your opponent or if the Tyranid player is playing well. Area denial, that's a great one.
Yeah.
There's just things that the Biovore allows them to score that we can't really deal with. Okay, so with this in mind, the biggest thing that we can kind of look at is that this army can be anywhere at once at any time. It's got a lot of monsters, so we actually kill them pretty efficiently. Lone operatives mean that we're going to have to play relatively close range, and that they're going to be scoring at least as well as we are, simply because the Biovore exists. Okay, these are the important things we need to know about Tyranids. Okay, next, let's talk about the mission a little bit. It was Crucible Battle, Hidden Supplies, and it was on this terrain. Okay.
Yep.
Not a whole lot to point out here, but the big things, there's a couple big things to look at. One, I don't believe you and Amelia had a conversation about whether or not you could stand on these objectives behind the terrain, behind the wall.
We did not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, we
is
didn't talk about
that is a very important conversation to have before the game actually starts. For like whenever it's like questionable, there's like some like over here. This one, absolutely, there's a spot that you can hide behind the wall. The wall will get nudged a little bit, but you guys know it's like, hey, this is possible. The wall got nudged. I'm here. These ones, it's pretty obvious to me that this one is not set up to stand behind the wall, but this one here is a little bit like, maybe. And so you
Yeah.
just have to, before the game starts, you just have to like, hey, do we want it to be possible to stand on here? Do we want it not possible to stand on here? And then you just fudge it because at the end of the day, we are still monkeys measuring this with sticks, right? Like, it's good. Like something
Yeah,
is
yeah,
going
I
to be a
got you.
little bit off. Just agree, make it symmetrical. But the other
Okay.
big things to kind of note about this are firing lanes. They are huge, right? This is massive. This is massive. It's not. Oh, and then like these firing lanes, like there's just a giant X across the board where you can shoot at each other all the time. Okay, so these
Yep.
are these are a couple of the big things. Now I want to start asking some questions from you, Larry. We got to start figuring out what our general game plan is for the game. So the first thing we got to ask is what kind of list archetype are you playing?
I mean, I guess in my mind, um, it was just to have a really big mid-board presence.
Uh-huh.
Keep the two Dorns, keep the two battle tanks kind of behind. try and clear out the midboard and then move the tanks out later on when it was safe to do so. I don't know if that's
Not
a
quite what I'm
attack or
looking
not.
for, but it is like we're gonna get to that. So the first thing
Okay.
that I'm kind of looking for right now is you are playing a combined arms shooting army, right? You've got a
Yeah.
little bit of nonsense like your chimeras, your Kazarkin, your Scout Sentinels. You've got a lot of firepower coming out from tanks, and this is generally an army that likes to play a front to back. So what are the strengths of your army as compared to not necessarily Amelia, but compared to just like the general 40k ecosystem? Why is this guard army good?
The lethal hits
Lethal hit is
from the
good. Yep.
vehicles to monsters and vehicles.
Hmm.
I would say the lethal hits. Um, I think the scouting, when I'm not, when the opponent doesn't have infiltrators or that many infiltrators, the scouting worked really well when it worked. Um, if I got, if the opponent had infiltrators and I couldn't scout, it was kind of
Yeah.
But I feel like that was a good part of it. And I think I feel like the mission play from having so many units that I could trade out
That's the thing. That's what I was looking for. That's
worked
the
out.
second part I was looking
Yeah.
for. So the first one is one, lethal hits. We shoot real good. We are very lethal, and especially like this style that you're playing, it's got a ton of guns and it's hard to kill back, right? So it is. We are going to be killing very well at range, and two, we have a lot of stuff. We have so much stuff,
Oh yeah.
right? We have in this list things that you can reasonably throw away. You have three Scout Sentinels, you have two Chimeras, you have two Kazarkin, you have two Hellhounds. So we're already at like, we have nine things that we can just throw away and not care about, right?
Yep.
There's not a lot of armies that can match that, especially at the efficiency of our units. Our units are so efficient at what it is that they're trying to do. Okay, let's talk briefly about Amelia. What list archetype is Amelia playing? Yeah,
Um,
just very high level stuff. Very high level stuff. Just give me the quick basics. What is it? What is her army trying to do? And vaguely, how does it do it?
high mobility
Yes.
via yeah, just high mobility.
Yeah.
Just getting where she needed to go when she wanted to.
Hmm.
It was just high mobility and just monsters,
Yeah.
durable monsters there.
Yeah. So what? One of the big things about the mobility that I kind of want to trying to get you to get at is that Amelia gets to dictate engagements in a lot of ways, right? Anything that we are letting her hit, she can hit and she can kill, right? She's very mobile, and if we let her, she will kill whatever it is that she can get to. Okay. Um, so
Agreed.
so the big part of this is no hiding. We cannot
Oh,
hide from this army, right? If they want to get to us, they are going to have the option to get to us, right? We can't
that's
we
a
can't stop it.
really interesting. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt you.
Oh no, you're good.
That's a very interesting point because, like, at forefront, I said the entire tournament, I'm not going to let anybody get behind me.
Hmm.
I was going to keep my screen up until I didn't need to anymore. But in this in this particular matchup, that just could happen the entire game. So I was just like, oh man,
Yeah.
like what do I do here?
Yeah,
So
absolutely. We'll go ahead and talk about that a lot. Now, the last thing, so these are kind of the keys to the matchup so far. It is hidden supplies. How do I score maximum primary?
no man's land,
Hmm.
getting a no man's land.
Hmm.
Yep.
So what are, let's go ahead and look. And clear here. So, this is your home up here. What objectives are we trying to control in order to score ideally a 15, but realistically probably a 10 every turn?
Um, you would definitely want your natural objective,
Yep,
down
this
to the
one.
south. So that the forefront. I would say the one immediately to the left would have been the next one to get the 15.
Yeah,
So
generally, yeah. This is we can kind of draw. You'll oftentimes hear people talk about drawing the triangle. This is our triangle. All right, we want to control this. Now how do we? So if we're able to control 1 and 2 every turn, how do we make sure our opponent, or how do we make sure that we are sometimes scoring a 15 by holding more?
I I mean, realistically, I mean, if we had talked about it right
Hmm.
on whether you could tow that second turn, that second objective
Hmm.
from inside of the ruin, that could have definitely been a feasible way. Um, Maybe getting the Chimera there and popping the Casterkin out, or putting a Hellhound or a Sentinel on two.
Hmm.
Maybe putting a Chimera on one
Well,
and
that's how
just
that's how we're getting our that's how we're getting our 10. How do we get our 15?
oh, I gotta just push out and get to that third objective. Probably the one to the left.
To a degree, yes, but the real answer that we're trying to get at here is we're probably not doing it until later in the game, and we're doing it by making sure our opponent is standing on none of them.
True.
Yeah, we
That is true.
right. It's we just need to hold more. Right, we don't need to be, we don't need to be on 1, 2, and 3. We just need them to not be on three of them.
Gotcha.
So we'll come back to this and we will explore this idea as we start going in. Okay, with all that in mind, what is let's try and put together a game plan of how we're going to win the game. Okay, so one of the big things that we need to identify is we have an overwhelming damage advantage in this game. We do so much more damage than they do. Okay. Uh,
Hmm.
the second thing, we have more things that are on average more durable than our opponent, right? Okay. Third
Yep.
thing is our opponent is going to can hit basically whatever they want, but in so doing, will have to get very close to us, right? So, with all this in mind, how do we generally control what it is that they're hitting such that we can leverage our damage advantage?
So if we control, I mean, this is just me kind of thinking out loud.
Hmm.
If I want to control what she was hitting, I would just send all my trade pieces out,
Hmm.
have her charge into them, kill them, and then they're exposed for me to clap back on my next
Exactly.
turn.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly it. So Larry, why did you not do that?
Because I was scared. I was scared. I've played into zoanthropes
Hmm.
before. In the last cannons, I was like, okay, I need to be really careful
Yeah,
about the zoanthropes. And then the Tyrannifex. The Tyrannifex kind of, I think I may have played a little bit too much into the psychology, because for me, what I've learned about my tanks is that there's like an effective range. I know our main guns have a long range, but I feel like our damage doesn't really kick in until you're at that pulverizer cannon range, like
yeah.
24. You know what
Basically
I mean?
18. Like when our meltas come online, we will kill anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I felt like I was kind of needing to play hide and seek
Hmm.
a little bit with the terrain effects. So I just, like you said in the previous slide, I was hiding,
Yeah.
and I shouldn't have,
Yeah.
essentially. Not as much as I did.
Great. We're already identifying it. So let's go ahead and start looking at how this game actually took out. The next however long it takes, we're going to be looking at the game phase by phase. Okay. So this is what the game looked like at the initial deployment. And take me through some of the thought process of why pieces are where they are.
Well, if we start from the top,
Okay.
There's one detail that when Amelia brought it up, I was like, oh, which is that she actually had a redeploy.
Yeah.
I'm sure she wasn't trying to gotcha me or anything like that. I'm sure she told me, but I was just so locked into trying to learn about like what the detachment actually did
Hmm.
that I just when I deployed, I had no idea that she had a redeploy.
Hmm.
So when she, I'll just start from the top. The
Yeah.
Rogodorn was there because I wanted to control that firing lane at the top.
Hmm.
The the Chimera was there because I knew I had Scout. I could either go forward if it's first turn or put it somewhere where it wouldn't get shot if it was second turn.
Hmm.
The Scout Sentinel, same thing. Move forward, try and get, you know. I honestly, looking at it right now, I was really locked into her natural expansion
Hmm.
with the ones on top. I kind of probably should have
No, it's in
did
a
the
great spot.
triangle.
No, we're gonna talk about this
Okay.
more. I like these.
Okay.
These pieces are in exactly the right spot.
Cool,
Hmm.
cool. Um, Looking at the two hellhounds and the scout sentinel below,
Hmm.
near two, just essentially I was just gonna walk around, maybe make a play for, two or three with
Hmm.
those. Go around, just kind of choose which way I needed to go. Um, the Rogel Dorn and the scout there were just going to kind of control that fire lane between one and two
Hmm.
and hold it down there. Or um, if I needed to maybe play between two or three, I could give it move, 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 go up there and maybe make a shot if I needed to. And then at the very bottom, um, oh, the Lehman Russ, that's like right by my Cadians there, was just, I placed it there as kind of like insurance. I would poke out and
Hmm.
then fire at anything that was by the my natural expansion, which I ended up doing later on. And then the Dorn and the Chimera there, the Chimera was going to scout up and just go forward,
Hmm.
really. And then I was going to make a play with the Lemon Rust to either go left or right, whichever way I needed to do to kind of protect
Yeah.
the natural.
Okay. Um, I will have a lot to say about this Lieben Rust later. Okay. So in general, you've gotten a lot of the basic principles correct. Okay. These pieces, like I said, great. This is probably almost exactly where I would put them as well. Um, this Chimera over here, same thing. Really like it. This Scout Sentinel, decent spot. The pieces that I don't love are firstly these two Hellhounds. Okay. So one of the big things that we were talking about before is their army is a lot of monsters, right? Our anti-infantry 2 plus gun is going to wound most of the things in their army on sixes, right?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
we will have like two Melta shots that are usually going to be hitting on fours, right? Like, what what is the Hellhound doing for us in this matchup?
Yeah, like why is it hiding? Yeah, I
Exactly.
get what you're saying.
I
I could have just put it on the line, sent it
I
out.
want one of the Hellhounds here, and I want one of the Hellhounds here. Okay. Now, what does that
Gotcha.
allow us to do?
Just send it out, trade it out, get some enemies exposed, and
True.
make some kills.
Just as importantly, if this is not here, what can we do now?
Oh, we could put the
Yeah, we
Dorn
could we,
there.
we could put like this guy there or this guy there,
Yeah.
right? Like great. They might be able to shoot at it on turn one if they go second, but realistically they probably can't. Um so yeah, that's one thing. We are using very premium deployment space because this is going to be very far like this can be very far forward. And it's hidden so our opponent will not be able to shoot it really. We're giving premium deployment spaces to pieces that we want to throw away.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Hmm. The other big thing about this is we have one Rogel Dorn here that can shoot down here. Um, but the big question kind of becomes, um, do we care about this firing lane?
True. Yeah, I
Well,
just
the
saw
answer
the
is
lane.
it's not just a yes or no.
I mean, when I when I originally deployed it, I cared about it. I was
Hmm.
like, I want to make sure that Amelia didn't put anything
Yeah,
there. I wanted to control
yeah.
the lane. That was my logic at the time.
Hmm.
But looking at it right now, after action, it's just it's kind of out of play. It's so far back.
Yeah, I agree. So one of the big things is, I'm not going to draw a straight line here because I'm using a mouse, but like there exists a line here where if we put like these pieces correctly, the Dorn can fit here, right? So like that's an
Yeah.
entire turn of movement that we just gain just by being more aggressive. But the other big thing about this is it's the wrong number of tanks for this firing line. Okay. Kind of like you identified, one of the big issues is our damage. Like, yeah, we do have 48-inch range and 72-inch range, and I will tell my opponents that to intimidate them, but I really don't want to be taking like those shots if I don't have to.
Yeah.
This is like, if we are going to be like playing for this firing lane, this tank also needs to be in this firing lane, right?
Gotcha.
So if we're going to
Yeah.
play for a firing lane, we need to play for the firing lane. We can't just have like a guy there. So that's the biggest follow up. Is so firstly, like if these hellhounds are somewhere else, where they're our bait hellhounds, then we can like put the Lieben Russ here, Dorn here, some combination of that. But if we are going to play for this firing lane, we need more than one tank ready to fight for that. So those are two things. My favorite line is like I said, Hellhound like here, Hellhound here. Maybe this Scout Sentinel goes here. It doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
And then Russ and Dorn, ideally in some combination like here, right? This is my favorite thing. And then we're going to have, you know, these two Dorns are going to be here shooting. Maybe one of the Dorns comes here and shoots. The other Russ comes here and shoots. But then um, we just have insane firepower down these two firing lanes. We are uncontestable in these two firing lanes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right.
Agreed.
Cool. So let's go ahead and go on to the redeploy. This is one of the coin flippiest things I've ever seen. Right? Like putting the
The old casino
Tyrannofix.
cannon.
Yeah, I mean, just putting the Tyrannofix here is just like if Amelia goes first, cool. She gets two shots on twos for rolling ones downrange. That's cool. But if she goes second, this Tyrannofex might be dead, right?
Yeah.
Like you could just one tap this thing. I've done crazier things. It's very plausible that this Tyrannofex just dies right away. So
Especially if I had done it, if especially if I had deployed correctly and was able to push up and shoot
mhm.
at it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
absolutely. Yeah, cool. So there's not a whole lot more to say about it, but let's kind of like evaluate what is going on. I think like there's like lictor here. I think these are lictors. Like one of them's a
Yeah.
neurolictor. I don't know which one is. I don't entirely know which one it is or what it does. But you have like Norn. Like Norns are gonna come something like this way. Zoanthropes are like here. You got a unit of Raveners, the Biovore, Tyrannofix, right? Like in general, she's actually like positioned in a fairly defensive posture overall because she doesn't really want to play the game turn one. She really wants to play the games on turn two and three.
Yeah.
Um, so overall, we're kind of in a fairly normal looking spot. But from here, I kind of want to talk about what our game plan is. So the first thing that I want to ask Larry is if we look over at their army, what in their army is a credible threat to Lehman Russes or our Dorns? Like, what can kill them?
What can kill them where I have them positioned?
Just in
So
general,
they
the
would need.
entire list.
Oh, okay. The assimilator, the emissary, the zoanthropes with the neurotyrant, and the tyrannifex.
I don't think the emissary is actually a credible threat to our tanks, to be entirely honest.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like I think it's legitimately the zoanthropes. They're a credible threat. The tyrannifex is a credible threat, and the assimilator, whichever one has the harpoons, that one's a credible
The
threat.
assimilator. Yep.
Yeah. Those are critical threats to our tanks. Literally everything else is going to scratch our paint, and we're like, cool, like, great. Maybe the Hive Tyrant kills a Hellhound, because I think it's strength 10, but, like, even if it hits everything and wounds everything, we still have to fail, like, almost everything for a Lehman Russ to die to the Hive Tyrant, right? There's just not a lot of credible threat that they have to our tanks, okay?
Gotcha.
So with that in
Okay.
mind, what are our primary targets in their army?
Our primary targets,
Uh-huh.
or my primary targets here, it would be okay. So going, based on our talks that we had before the game, the
Uh-huh.
singular purpose that she chose for them were the two middle objectives.
Yeah.
So my thought process was like those Norns have to go. The OC 15, I mean, unless I had like a lot of guardsmen in the
Mm.
list, I can't out OC that. They
Yeah.
have to go. And then I would say after them, the Zoanthropes with the Neurotyrant. They would have to go. The the Tyrannifex, more or less, I can deal with it kind of on my own terms
Uh-huh.
because it didn't look like she wanted to bring the the Tyrannifex out into the open. So I would say those three for sure.
You're on the right
The
track.
Raveners, the Raveners were kind of squishy,
Uh-huh.
and their strength wasn't as high. They just had a lot of uppy downy, so I wasn't like really tripping about them. But I
Yeah.
would say those three primarily, and then the Tyrannifex four.
Yeah. So you're kind of on the right track. We do need to kill the Norns, but we don't need to kill them right away. Simply because we have 5 turns. Like, if she scores 1 turn of primary, so be it. But our public
True, true.
enemy number one, the thing that we are hunting in their list, if we can get to it, number one is Zoanthropes. Why do we want these dead more than anything else in their army?
Oh, they're the deadliest shooting,
And
hands down with all the oh the flamers that
nope,
they have.
don't really care about that.
Hmm. Uh,
They die like bitches.
they are pretty squishy actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are
Yeah.
3 wounds, 4 up invul, no real save. They are going
Hmm.
to die if we point like a tank at them,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
we just, if we can get a tank to shoot at the Zoanthropes, we are going to make that trade every day of the week, right? Because once the Zoanthropes are dead, she can at best kill maybe 1 tank per turn after that. And how many tanks do we
Agreed.
have?
We got four of them.
We have 4 of
So
them. If she's killing maybe 1 tank per turn, we're probably going to still have a tank on turn 5. Right. Um, the other major reason for that is if we kill their damage and our damage is still alive, and the Norn is like scratching at our paint, we can just turn our damage on the Norn afterwards.
that is true.
Yeah, we don't
That is
have to kill
true.
the Norns first. We can kill them later. Our biggest thing is they can do damage to our tanks if they get lucky. Like one of them has like a Melta gun, and then the other one, the assimilator, like actually is like a credible threat to kill a tank. But you still have to make a charge. And we can screen charges. We can't screen shooting in the same way. So that's one of the big things that we're going to try and do. We want to kill the Zoanthrope. We would like to kill the Tyrannofex, but the Tyrannofex, unlike the Zoanthropes, doesn't die like a bitch. That thing is toughness 12 to up save and has a built-in blank. That is hard to
Yeah.
kill. Um, But the big thing about it is it's also really, really swingy. So one of the things, are you familiar with the website Unit Crunch?
I know what it is, but I've never
Okay.
used it.
I want you to guess if a Tyrannofex is shooting a Lehman Russ and it is getting the benefit of heavy, and we do not smoke, but we are in cover because we're not an idiot. We're always in cover. What are the chances that a Tyrannofex rerolling ones, hitting on twos, kills a Lehman Russ?
Hmm. You said how many turns?
One Tyrannofex shooting for one turn.
Okay. Um, I mean, it's two shots.
Uh-huh.
You got to hit. I mean, I believe. Oh yeah, subterranean. They re-roll ones,
Uh-huh.
so to probably for sure get the two shots. Um, Probably because you're still wounding on threes.
Uh-huh.
So I'd probably say maybe. I mean, it's D6 plus 6 damage.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So they would actually have to, the Tyrannofex would actually have to get both. I would have to fail both saves
Uh-huh.
in order for the Lean Rust to get popped. Man, I would say 9 damage is an estimate.
That I'm actually really surprised. That is exactly the average, like expected
Oh,
damage. Um, but what are our odds of dying? Like
oh.
roughly?
Uh, and it's just me guessing.
Yeah, just a guess is fine.
Probably, probably, probably for 30%, 40%.
It's about 20%.
Oh,
It's low, right? And if we pop smoke and make them hit on threes instead, we are now down to about 12%,
oh, wow.
right? Like the Tyrannofex, it can kill any of our vehicles in one turn of shooting, right? But the odds that it kills something through smoke is still low, right? Even if it's getting heavy. If for whatever reason we make them move and then pop smoke, we are now down to 6.5% that it kills a Lehman Russ. It's not that likely to actually kill one of our tanks. It can.
That's
We have to
crazy.
respect the possibility, but we should not expect it to, especially if we're willing to pop smoke. So that's another reason why we want to kill the zoanthropes. We would like to kill the Tyrannofex if they let us, but we don't have to.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
hmm So that's just something to kind of think about. Just kind of do. I like to do a lot of this math well before I get to an event, and you do not have to do it, but do you see how your expectation was like 30 to 40%? It's about half that.
It's insightful. You
Yeah,
know what you're dealing with.
exactly.
You know what you can put out in the open
Yeah,
or not put out in the open. And I
yeah,
think that's a big difference maker.
yeah. Let's
So,
do a quick look at the Hellhound if we don't pop smoke and everything going well. If we don't pop smoke, a Hellhound has dies about a third of the time to a
wow.
Tyrannofex if it's getting heavy, right? It's just not that high. Like they will
Interesting.
almost always need some supplemental damage. This is only the railgun. We're not maybe the other gun does like a damage or two, um, but still it's not that high. Like the Tyrannofex is not that scary. Okay.
It would probably have a better chance in invasion fleet if they had the lethals
Yes, it's way scarier
going
than
on.
Invasion Fleet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got all that in mind. Let's go ahead and actually start taking a look at how we actually play the first thing and the first turn. The first thing we look at is scout moves. So this is what the game looks like after the redeploy. This is what the game looks like after scout moves. And I have some things to say about this, Larry, but I want to hear what your thoughts on this are.
Well, I went first
Mm-hmm.
and my and I'm just starting from the top.
Absolutely.
My um my thought was that the Tyrannofex was clear on the other side, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would just be exposing my Chimera and the Casterkin inside of it for no reason. And I said, you know what? I'll go and I'll sit tight for right now, stay
Mm-hmm.
out of trouble off the terrain, and I'll make some plays later on. That was the same thing with the two scouts.
Mm-hmm.
The scout in the middle, I mean, I kept him safe too, but I guess my thought was that maybe the emissaries, the Norns could shoot it and kill it. And I was like, I don't want to lose the scout right now.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of the scouts. I want to kind of stage them up and see what she does later on.
Mm-hmm.
And then the scout that's on the very bottom, I felt like that particular lane was more or less safe, even if I felt like that lane was safe because the Tyrannifex could come around the corner, and even if it did shot, it was just a scout, and then maybe I can make some plays with my Dorn that's at the very top, and go from there.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Chimera, I just moved it down. I scouted down to just move forward,
Yeah, absolutely.
essentially,
So
and yeah, that's it.
I want to get what do you think I'm about to say about these scout moves? And this is a general thing. But I asked one of my friends like what they thought about this, um, like whether or not I should talk about this, and they're like, yeah, you should probably talk about it. I like this scout move and I like this scout move, but I hate these scout moves. And why do you think that is?
They're basically in the same spot.
Yeah, that's
they're
part of
they're
it.
basically in the same spot. It's like I didn't have a scout move. Like looking at it right now, I should have gone forward.
Yeah,
I should have just gone for it. It's a chimera, it's a scout. That's kind of what they're there for, is, to do that.
that's
And I
part of
just
it. That's part of it. You are right that you basically didn't have a scout move, right? But the
yeah,
big thing is whose turn is it?
it is mine.
Mm-hmm.
It's turn one.
Can
So
we,
this definitely
yeah, can we be here after our normal move, like after our movement phase? The answer is yes. It's not a
I'm
trick
sorry,
question. Yeah,
I'm sorry, say that again.
can we be in these positions after at the end of our movement phase?
Oh, 100%.
Great. Now let's just imagine. So like the Chimera starts off here, right? You scouted here. Okay. Um, if we have the Chimera just scout 6 to like here or whatever, what can we now do that we can't from here?
We could get some type of shots off. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm squadron, so I could shoot some las guns or shoot some stubbers down at
Yeah,
the Tyrannifex, maybe pluck a wound or two.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. And if this Scout Sentinel, right, it's currently here, what can we do with the Scout Sentinel if it was just like here instead?
Oh, could have moved and been on the second objective there.
Yeah, absolutely. The answer is if we scout forward, we can do whatever we want, right?
Yeah.
And if we draw cards that say, actually, guys, I don't want this scout to be out here. You know what the great part is? We can go
Just move
back.
back. Yeah, just move back.
Right? So what is the general lesson from this discussion?
Just scout.
Yeah.
Just
Why?
scout. You have the option
Yeah.
because that where your circle is right there, that could have been an area denial score.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The big thing here is it costs us absolutely nothing to just scout the maximum because we can
gotcha. Yeah.
always we can always go back. But if there are like some cards, like maybe, what if we drew established locus, right, as an easy example, this scout sentinel here, I don't know that it can get here, but like if you are able to give it move, move, move or something, like you can oftentimes just do established locus in their DZ on turn one if you just go for the maximum scout.
Yeah, and that would be
Yeah,
that's a few extra points. Yeah.
absolutely, right? But if we don't scout, we just don't have that option. So we just want to take our maximum scout because it costs us nothing and it opens options that we don't necessarily have otherwise. So it ends up like not really mattering this game, but I'm guessing that there was probably a time in one of your other games where you didn't just like yeet your guys forward, and they now weren't in a position to do something that you wanted them to do. That probably happened at least once at this event.
Oh yeah,
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 cool.
definitely.
One of the other big things is I don't know exactly what this distance is, but this Chimera can maybe charge this.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like I don't know what the distance is, so that would be like a question. But it can't charge from here, but it maybe could have charged from the other position. Okay.
Yeah, in retrospect, if I had that Dorn a little farther up, better position in the deployment, could have gave it move, move, move,
Uh-huh.
and that Chimera could have flown down
Yeah.
the way there.
Yeah.
Hammer
Absolutely.
of the Emperor, no question.
Yeah. Great. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk. What were the? I remember. I remember you drew and then did your scouts or whatever. But let's go ahead and talk about this first turn, right? I'm pretty sure these were like the secondaries you actually ended up having on this first turn. So let's
Yeah,
yeah, let's go ahead and talk. What are our general goals this turn? What are things that we want to have accomplished on turn one?
I usually for me, I want to have something on the natural.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's usually my number one priority.
Mm-hmm.
With the secondaries, I was kind of at a loss because I was like, how am I supposed to touch? Pretty sure the Norns are characters. They may not be. Are they characters?
I think so.
I think so. I'm not
I don't
sure.
know.
But yeah, I was like, man, how am I supposed to touch, Assassination Overwhelm? I felt like they were bad draws to have
Yeah, they're bad.
on turn one. So I well, with that being said, I was just like, okay, I just need to have my foot on my natural stage up and
Mm-hmm.
get set, for a clap back on turn two. Really,
Mm-hmm.
that's my natural thought process.
Yeah, so
So
we got a couple of the good things. Firstly, like you said, you need to have something on your natural expansion. You have to, right? Like that's how you're going to be
yeah.
scoring points. The other major thing that we're kind of looking at is we are going first. Going first right now sucks. You hate going first.
Yeah.
Well, it's harder to play going first than it is to play going second. Because going first, you have to be proactive. Are we okay with scoring a 0 on secondary going first?
Going scoring, I mean, depending on what they are, I was okay with it because I get a CP out of it. I
We're
can
going to get a
discard them.
CP out of one of these anyway,
Yeah. Oh, well. Hmm.
right?
That's a good question.
The answer is we're almost never okay with getting a 0 on secondary going first. Like, it's very rare. Um, Especially, like, against armies that don't score secondary very well, like Iron Storm, Space Marines, sometimes. Like against armies that don't score secondary very well, where we have a clear secondary scoring advantage, we can be like, it's fine. But remember what we were saying about the Biovore? This army
Yeah.
scores secondary for free.
So essentially, I should have redraw.
Yeah, you should
I should have
redraw.
did the redraw.
Yeah. Um,
1000%.
the big thing about it is we are expecting to be down about 5 to 10 points of primary just because we're going first. If this game like is actually played, like all 5 turns are actually played, we're going to expect to be down about 5 to 10 turns or 5 to 10 points. Um, Secondary, if we draw equally well, we are expecting to draw or to score approximately equally on secondaries if we both draw the same. So if we draw 0 for turn one, we are now down an expected like 4 to 5 secondary points, right? Just because we drew poorly.
Yeah.
We can't like if we're only down like 5-ish points on the primary like expectation over the entire game, it is what it is. But we're if we don't redraw at all now, we are now down an expected like 15 points. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. So we should probably be redrawing one of these, but that's okay. So the next thing that we're kind of looking at is we need something on our natural. Because this is a mission where you only score primary for being in the middle, we also want to be on this objective. Okay.
Yep.
We're a little bit far away from it. I would have loved Hellhound here, going and touching, but that is not an option for us right now. We would love to have something on that, but if we don't, actually, that's a better question. Why do we want something on this objective?
Uh, to keep them off of it,
Nope.
like to be able to score. And if they live, that's our primary.
Yeah.
Like if we find a way to keep, let's say that hellhound did come around the corner,
Mhm.
if that hellhound lives, that's more points in our pocket,
Yeah.
or in my pocket in this case.
But we're not
So,
doing it because we want them to not go to the point. We actually are on the objective because we want them to come to it,
yep.
right? Yeah, we want our opponent to come out so we can kill them.
Yeah, makes
Yeah,
them have to expose themselves.
yeah. So that's the other thing is having the Hellhound there. The one other thing is what are our primary targets in this game? Again, number one, it's zoanthropes. Okay.
Yep.
Number two, it's probably like the assimilator, or we call him an assy. And number three, our third most important thing that we're trying to kill is the T-Fex, right? It's not the most threatening thing in the game, but it is a threat.
Yeah.
So, can we kill any of them this turn?
No. No.
Mm,
My Dorn's too far in my head. My Dorn was just too far away. The pulverizer, the auto cannon. I mean, I could have moved up on turn one and shot those two guns. I don't think. Uh,
you're right that the answer is probably no, but
yeah.
the answer is not definitely no, right? Like we are not killing the zoanthropes here. I don't remember which
Yeah,
one of these is
they're tucked
which.
away.
I think this is the assimilator. We're not killing this. Like we're gonna shoot a chimera at that. We would have to wound everything. And they would have to fail everything for that to happen. But this Tyrannofex, it's maybe maybe we can, right? So how would we go about doing this? How would we try and kill this Tyrannofex?
I would say if I had scouted right with the Chimera,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I could have gotten the move, gotten the Casterkin out and started throwing some mortals.
That's possible, yeah.
Doing the melt mine, throwing a grenade after that, and then, you know, if it went well, um, the Dorn,
Mm-hmm.
could get some wounds in there with the main gun, the auto cannon,
Mm-hmm.
could get put a fields of fire on it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
get the +1 AP. Uh, the Chimera,
Chimera's gonna contribute like a damage or two. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Now,
Oh, the scouts there. Could
yeah.
reroll, point at it and reroll the ones.
Mm-hmm.
Throw the hunter killer. The
Mm-hmm.
the last, I have everything equipped with last cannons.
Yeah,
So
that's good. Yeah.
shoot the last cannon. Maybe get a lethal in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And there's one more vehicle that can from this position that can contribute.
Hmm.
Maybe two, but one of them that we care about.
Yeah. The Lehman.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Could have moved the Lehman up.
yeah. Are we probably gonna kill it? No. But if we kill it, we win the game on the spot. So I'll take a 30% to just win.
I feel you. I
Yeah.
feel you.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is if a Hellhound was here, yeah, it could probably contribute too. Right? So with all this in mind, what are we generally looking to do with our stuff, right? We need to put something on this objective down here. What is it that we're trying to put on this objective?
Either a scout. Um, I there was one game that I had really good success with putting the Chimera in there behind the wall. Um, just something to
Hmm.
put on there. So whatever's in that vicinity that I deployed in.
Hmm. So there's a. We'll talk about it in a moment. So that's the right
Okay.
idea. How are we trying to kill this? We're gonna move this, 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 and this, and we're just gonna try and blast it, right? Like, if we get
Yeah.
lucky, cool. We probably don't get lucky, but like maybe we do. The oppressor cannon can do funny things. Okay, let's take a
Hmm.
look at what you actually did, Larry. Okay, there's a couple things about this that I don't like. Okay, firstly, with the idea that our opponent can be anywhere at any time, are we scoring this objective?
In retrospect, given that I was against Subterranean,
Mm-hmm.
probably not.
Probably not.
Because they could deep strike in, get the tunnel marker in, 6-inch
Mm-hmm.
charge, and then yeah.
Yeah, we're probably not. It does not take that much to get us off this, which is not good, especially in a primary mission where it is so like end game favored. We need to be scoring our points here, so that's not great. Um, Also, what are we doing with this guy?
I believe I may be losing my mind here,
Mm-hmm.
but I believe I did activate the Dorn, but that's the only thing I
You
activated on
did,
that
yep,
terrain effects.
yep.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, but it is what it is. Um, And then the last thing that I kind of want to take a look at is so we don't have anything on here. It's still possible for us to fix our problem, like maybe the Hellhound makes an advance and touches the objective. But we definitely want a Hellhound here, out in the open, and we want our opponent to shoot at it. And if they don't shoot at it, great. Now we have a Hellhound in the middle that is very active. The other thing is, so we're not scoring this. How could we have better scored this objective?
Uh, I'm looking. I mean, I guess if I had moved more, this is my best guess. I would say if I had moved more things out to provide it a better screen, but just moved the screen forward, then there's a good chance that maybe Amelia's bugs wouldn't have been able to charge in onto the point.
Hmm.
That would be my best guess.
Yeah, I mean you're on the right track. The big answer is the guys in here should be here,
Mm,
right? Just on the point. They are not chargeable from that position, and they're not shootable from that position. So the only way that we're taken off of this is if Amelia like comes out here and hits a charge into the Scout Sentinel. That's the only way we lose it. In which case,
gotcha.
darn, now her assets are in the open and we're gonna blast them. Okay.
Yep.
The other side. So one of the other big things I haven't really touched on is how are we denying our opponent's natural over here? We want our opponent to score this basically never. How do we do that?
We should have sent the Chimera up.
Hmm.
The Chimera and the Scout should have gone up to harass that objective.
Hmm.
Looking back at it, she only had the Lictor
Hmm.
right there, and I believe those are Raveners.
Yeah, these are
The
Raveners.
T-Fex doesn't really have much melee, so I
Nope.
wasn't worried about that in melee. But I mean, yeah, those two right there could have been really good
Yeah.
options
So
for
the big
doing
thing
that.
is if we're not committing to this, like trying to kill this, the other thing that we can do is, are you familiar with the being 1.1 inches away from the back of a wall?
Yep,
Yeah, the
yep,
Chimera.
I'm familiar.
Chimera should be here, right? 1.1 inches away from the wall. This is like 6 inches, maybe. AKA, very easy for the Chimera to just hop guys out and put 20 OC on that point if we want to. And it's
Yeah,
really hard for these to charge. If that Tyrannofix shoots it at Chimera and doesn't shoot at our Dorn, big win, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. So we're just a little bit. We are putting pieces out. I think this is fine. This maybe doesn't need to be as aggressive, but the bigger thing is like Kazarkin need to be here. We would have loved to have a Hellhound here, but of course, I'm gonna stop hoppering on it. I promise. Um,
No, no, you're fine.
yeah,
It's good information.
yeah.
So
But we're generally at a position right now where we are not setting the pace of the game very much. Our opponent now basically just gets to play from our deployment, right? We haven't really moved out. We haven't really
yeah,
taken a lot of control of the board. We have um our board is kind of like 6 inches away from our front line. So it's like something like that, more or less. Where all of this space on this side, Amelia can do kind of whatever she wants with. We would
yeah,
love for that line to instead be like, you know, like that,
yeah.
right? Because it's just she now doesn't just get to freely put stuff on here. It's harder to go for charges over here. We're functionally unchargeable over here. We're just a bit too far back.
Gotcha.
So we take a look at the shooting phase. You did a couple damage here and there, whatever. And then we go over to bottom of one. Okay. So um this is where we get into trouble. Okay. So one of the biggest things about this, we're not going to talk about Amelia's decisions too much this game. We're mostly going to be focusing on like Amelia gave us a puzzle. Here's how we're solving it. Why is this a problem for us with the zone throws?
Oh, because they have the lane down basically. Like they have that
Partly.
lane. And then my Chimera's right there. It also drops the tunnel marker.
Hmm.
And yeah, it was just I looked at it and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like this disaster.
But you haven't really gotten to like the main problem of the zone throws being here for us. And it's not actually what they can shoot at.
Oh, is that's our number one that's our number one threat. That's the unit that we're supposed to be getting rid of, number
Hmm.
one, but it's away from all of the
There
things
it
that
is.
could kill it.
There it is. Yeah, it is. We have one vehicle that we expect to be alive that can shoot at these zone throws next turn. Now, to be fair, the Lemur's battle tank probably kills like 3 to 5 of them, which is
Yeah.
basically enough. But we do give ourselves some risk that we don't just blast them, right? We would love the entire unit to be gone. We would also love the Neuro Tyrant to be gone. Why do we want the Neuro Tyrant dead?
Oh, the Shadow and the Warp
Exactly. We got
plus
-1 for
one.
Shadow in the Warp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It just shuts us down.
yeah. So we only have one tank that can actually do any damage to them. That's the main problem with them being here. Um, yeah, and as long as the zone throps are just like hanging out somewhere, we have to accept that they're going to do whatever they want. But as soon as they show themselves, we need to be able to just kill them. So,
Gotcha.
yeah. So overall, like during this, she just came down like over here. This died. This died. The Kazarkin inside died. Right. Like this is all pretty expected from what our opponent is doing. Did you do agree? Did you expect to lose all of that?
I didn't.
Oh,
I
you did.
didn't. I did not.
Yeah.
When everything flashed over, I was just like, "How's this?" I thought it would happen later on in the game.
Mm-mm.
I
This
didn't
was turn
realize that it
one.
would happen so
Yeah.
fast.
You made a joke about this as well later on in the game where it's like, I killed all of them and they're just right back in the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's basically
man.
what this army does, right? It just like picks a side of the board and it punches it really hard. So that's one of the big things. So they come over here, not understanding what our opponent can do. Like that happens sometimes, especially when you're playing an army for the first time. But anyway, they kill all of that. And one of the other so remember how I said I wanted the Kazarkin here?
Hmm.
We see one of the other major reasons why it's an issue when they are still inside is one, depending on what else is over here, they might get shot to death. But now they're a charge target.
Yep.
Hmm. we don't want to give them that charge target. If like the Scout Sentinel here had died and the Chimera here had died, but our Kazakin were over here, they're not charging it. We score 5 points.
Yep.
Yep. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So all that stuff happens. And this is charge. Okay. So this is what the what it looks like at the end of bottom of 1. Okay. We're in a bit of a tough spot because we're going to get 0 primary on this next turn. But what are we trying to do from this position in order to try and give ourselves the best chance of winning this game?
It was definitely to get rid of that assimilator.
Mm-hmm.
To get the assimilator and get something over there to take the expansion back. And I believe what I did, yeah, I'm sure we'll get to it here soon. As I don't know. I guess in a panic, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put the Lehman's sponson over there to touch the objective just to get some primary going.
Yeah. As a bit of a slightly related thing, this Lehman Russ is shootable.
Oh,
right? For the same reason we can hang our sponson over this, this counts as being inside the terrain.
I think, and this is something I went over with my opponents, and I guess it's kind of like against the rules in a sense, but a lot of my opponents that I play, we agreed that we target from the what's called the true hole. So like we don't target like wing tips and antennas and turrets and stuff. It's like from my tread basically. And I think we had agreed on that. I'm not sure.
If you agree on that beforehand, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it gets like you get into like bad habits of if you ever come into someone who's not willing to do that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I would just play with good habits. It doesn't really matter. You actually had like really good movement habits in general in terms of like how you were measuring things, so that was good. But anyway, so we're at this, right? We want to kill this. This is something we want to kill. And then second thing we're trying to do, actually like first thing we're trying to do is probably try and kill this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now the other thing we're trying to do is our opponent is threatening to score 15 primary if the primary or like the objective situation doesn't change. So we need to make sure that our opponent is not scoring a 15, right? Ideally, we want them to score a 0, but if they score a 5, it is what it is, right? Okay.
Yeah.
How do we accomplish these goals?
Looking at it, from the bottom of 1, I could have brought that Hellhound around the corner and activated it on that Lictor. Yep. That one right there. I think the reason I didn't commit the Rogel Dorn there, that's in the middle, to go down.
This one?
That one right there. I don't think I moved it where I needed it to in turn 2. I think I don't know. We'll see here in a second.
Yeah,
but
we'll talk about it. Yeah.
I should have moved some more. I should have positioned more resources or try to make some type of move given where they are right now, because they're kind of hidden completely out of cover. I don't know if I would have been able to reach the only unit I have that I feel I could have actually touched them with is the Lehman Russ on the bottom. Realistically,
sorry, to shoot what? To shoot this guy?
That guy dies.
Yeah.
That guy dies. I'm thinking about the zone throws.
Right yeah. This guy should come out and kill for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever did that.
No, you did not. Yeah. But in general, you have
more resources.
Yeah. So the other big thing from here is like you said, we want to get this off of the objective, right? We want to kill this off of the objective. We would like to do a bunch of damage to this. And then the other big thing is we would like them to not be here and not be here. So this is a thing that Aquilons can solve, right?
Yep.
Aquilons solve this problem. This one over here would be easier to solve if our Chimera was here, but it's still, so this is 10 and like 2 or 3. So this is about like 13 inches or so. So we can risk this on advancing on a 4, but we don't love it, right?
Yeah.
So our big thing is we're trying to figure out. We definitely want to solve this. We definitely want to solve this. We would like to solve this, and we definitely want to solve this, and we definitely want to solve this. So in general, like tank, 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 tank comes around here. Helen comes around here. This can continue trading fire if it wants. Like it's okay one way or another. But I also don't hate just coming like over here, right? And just being in the middle of the
Gotcha.
board. So let's take a look, Larry, at what you actually did.
Hmm.
Most of this is okay, right? This was not within 12, so it couldn't shoot. This, I like this because, insurance if this doesn't die. This is great. Like, this is perfect. Um, you did make a rules mistake on this, though. Do you know what the mistake was?
Which I'm sorry, which where are you
With the
pointing at?
with the Aquilons.
Oh, I know we had a talk about the reinforcement step, like once they died, but what did I mess up here?
You shot the flamer here and then still grenaded here.
Oh, oh, interesting.
hmm So why is that not? Do you know why that's not allowed?
I'm not aware. This,
So
yeah, this
yeah,
education here.
yeah, grenade says that you cannot have shot this turn. And by shooting the flamer, you have now shot this turn. So you can't, if you drop, you can't
Oh,
grenade if you shoot the flamer as well. So you can choose to not shoot the flamer and then grenade, or you can shoot the flamer but then not grenade.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
hmm It's there were a couple other rules mistakes. I'm not going to sweat it. I just shoot like a las gun at the spore mine and probably kill it anyway. But like it doesn't meaningfully change the board state, but something to keep in mind.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not aware of that.
hmm
It's one of those small details, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll remember that for from
Yeah.
now on.
Okay. Let's talk about the rest of this. This is good. This is where it should have been a turn ago, but I like where it is now. Okay. Hellhound coming out. What do you think I'm gonna say about the Hellhound?
Should have came out more.
Absolutely. Get that fucking
Yeah,
boy in there.
yeah. What was I doing there? I don't know why I didn't bring it out more. Yeah,
Yeah, still being a little bit scared of our opponent. This Dorn can't really shoot at anything, but if you don't want to shoot at the Tyrannofex, which I don't think is ridiculous, like it kind of is what it is, I probably would have put it like here, where it's a little bit more able to like move out, a little bit harder to shoot, but the difference is like not that big. Um, this good is Hellhound touching the objective. We need to be on this objective for next turn. Um, this Leave and Russ, don't love it. We've already talked about this. It needs to be shooting these
yeah,
guys. We want these
yeah.
guys dead. This is public enemy number one. The other big things here are neither of these. I will say a lot about this tank over the course of the game. I don't think this is within Melta range, right?
I thought I measured it, and I thought it was
Oh, if
right
it
at
is,
18.
if you measured
I
it,
thought,
like I'm not gonna police the measuring. It doesn't look like it, but the other thing is we want this tank to be within 9 if we can, because Melta 2 basically doubles our Melta damage.
true,
Yeah.
true.
So we want this to be farther forward. We want this guy can definitely be within 9 if we want him to, right? And
Yeah.
then the one other thing is this Scout Sentinel should be giving our door and reroll ones.
Oh goodness, what was I doing?
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's why we do this. So in general, I think a lot of it is like mostly there, right? This guy should be closer because he's using the Hellhound as a screen. So he can be a little bit closer. This guy can probably come out to about here. This isn't a good spot. This can come here. This guy needs to come out, and then this guy needs to come out. But you're mostly there, right? You're accomplishing most of the goals that we have set out for ourselves, right? We're gonna kill this.
Gotcha.
We're probably gonna kill this. This is pretty high likelihood to die. This is very high likelihood to die. The only goal that we're really missing out is these zoanthropes. Unfortunately, that was like our second goal.
I actually feel sick looking at this because that Lehman Russ that's wholly within the ruins there could have went around the corner. I had the movement. I would have
Mm-hmm.
been within 18 of those zoanthropes, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
to go
Probably.
full on.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Right. But you're getting it now, right? We gotta kill the
Yeah.
things that we gotta kill. So overall, this happens. We get most of the way there. I was planning to talk about this, but shoot, like this dies. One of the other things that I kind of like about this, like this rust coming out down this way, is a concept that I like to call. Well, it's like a redundancy concept, right? Like if you're over here and for some reason the Norn is like still alive after getting shot at by a Thorn, a Hellhound, a Scout Sentinel, and another Rust, you can still shoot it with that Rust, right? It's going to be within 9 for the multi-meltas. And then realistically, like the multi-meltas, you know, are not our most effective weapon shooting at these. We really just want to put the battle cannon at these guys or
With the blast.
at the zoanthropes. Yeah, like that's gonna do most of our damage into that target. But like we give ourselves some redundancy, and we also give ourselves a possible tank shock. So we have like
Oh yeah.
we have built-in redundancies in order to try and take this guy down. Okay. But yeah, so overall, we've gotten most of our things done. We've accomplished engage on all fronts. We've accomplished storm hostile. We've held our opponent down to just a 5, which is, we would love this to have been a 0, but we've accomplished most of our main things. Okay.
Cool.
Let's go ahead, talk about that. So this is what happens. This is what Amelia's next movement phase looks like. Couple of things here. Firstly, this coming out, this is very expected. Zoanthropes hopping out over here, Raveners, Norn, and Flying Hive Tyrant makes sense. One of the things that I want you to get in the habit of doing is overwatching everything. Okay. Did you know that against this unit, against the Zoanthropes and the Neurotyrant, all of our vehicles have lethal hits?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
How many of these Zoanthropes do you think a Rogal Dorn is supposed to kill in Overwatch?
Oh man. If let's say I'm in range with five, with all five guns.
Mm-hmm.
Um, mo- with lethals, I would
Mm-hmm.
modestly maybe 3 or 4 models, three or
Yeah, it's
four
like 2 or
bases.
3. Yeah. Like 2 or 3 are like expected to die, and that is public enemy number 1, half dead.
Man,
Yeah.
I get a little apprehensive about overwatching the Dorn because I've whiffed on it hard
It
before.
happens.
I, I'm more confident overwatching with like the battle tank
Mm-hmm.
because of the rerolls and stuff. I
Yeah.
usually like doing it when an enemy touches an objective. I'm like, okay,
That's
it's time to
also good.
overwatch now.
Was that an option this
Yeah.
turn?
No.
No. So why are we not doing it with the Dorn?
Yeah,
I
I got you.
agree. I agree that if the option is there, we would do it with the battle tank into most like things that we have lethal hits on objectives. We're gonna do that most of the time. However, that was never gonna be an option. Like maybe this overwatches, but don't really want to overwatch a Norn. Like that's not getting us a whole lot. This guy just can't see anything, so like he's not
Hmm.
gonna get an overwatch. So it's if we're gonna get an overwatch, it's gonna be with the Dorn, and we would love if there's like 2 or 3 fewer last cannons over here. So that's the first thing.
Definitely.
Um, Overall, though, we are once again kind of in a spot where, partly because our Kazarkin over here are dead, we have to be on this with a Luminous Battle Tank, but they are now presenting more of a threat to our natural than they probably should be. Um, we don't really need to talk about this too much. Hellhound dies. Zoanthropes. I think they mostly whiff here. They don't. I don't think they actually did a whole lot of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I was actually very lucky
Yeah.
with their shooting this time.
Yeah. The Zoanthropes shooting at our Dorns are like is really swingy. So, so they do a little bit of shooting damage. This charge happens, and then unsurprisingly, they hit all of the 6-inch charges. right? Like
Yep.
that's pretty likely. Um, and then I think, oh, oh yeah. So funny thing over here. This again doesn't really matter all that much. But remember how you see how there's like a guy that's supposed to be here
Mm-hmm.
and he died to a hazardous test?
Yeah.
You failed 9.
Oh,
Hmm.
I thought that. Wait a minute.
It doesn't.
I thought if the plasma guy fails the hazardous,
Yeah,
it's just that model.
yeah. And then you failed an additional 9 saves in this combat.
Oh. Oh, Amelia, if you're if you're watching this, I'm so sorry.
So the big thing that you do here is because you have like, you still have CP. It actually is probably better for you if they die and you reinforce them.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
because
yeah,
Amelia big brained this and was like, okay, guy lives, you got one model left. I'm just gonna leave it alone. Have a good time. And I was
yeah.
like, oh my God.
This
So
again, small rules mistakes like this, I'm not sweating about. I just thought it was very funny. You make a couple more rules mistakes with these guys. Actually, we'll talk about it in a moment. Okay,
okay.
so this is what the game looks like as we're going into our command phase, and this is when your opponent calls Shadow in the Warp. Okay, um, the quick rules thing here is you should talk to the judge before, or you should come to an understanding with your opponent and or the judge before the game starts, because different people have different rulings on how this works, because both our orders and Shadow in the Warp happen just during the command phase. Okay?
Gotcha.
There's two basic arguments here. What the first argument is, it's during the command phase, they all happen at the same time, therefore the guard player has to slash gets to give all the orders first, and then the Shadow in the Warp is called. Which means
Yeah,
that
because they both
sometimes,
happen.
yeah, sometimes we can choose to give someone plus 1 OC in leadership to counteract the Nero Tyrant. Okay. The the other argument is the command phase is not a singular point in time, and therefore, after each order, the Tyranid player can choose to give or can choose to call the Shadow in the Warp at that point. So, depending on
Interesting.
there is a bit of a game being played here where the Tyranid player and the guard player can kind of play chicken with each other with the orders. Um, the way you did it is not necessarily wrong, but it is one of those things that you should have a conversation with before the game starts, because like the rules are a little bit weird about how the timing on this works.
Gotcha.
So the
Because
way, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, because technically, well, I don't know if it's technically it has to be agreed upon, but I should have been able to like maybe issue out some duty and honor
Hmm.
orders out to help with Shadow, but because they're happening at the same time, the Tyranid player technically doesn't have to allow me to issue orders out.
I
Is
think
that what I'm understanding?
kind of. Well, you should always get to give at least one order, just because it's in the same spot where
Okay.
right? Because like if there are two optional things and you say, okay, I'm gonna give an order, and they say I'm gonna do Shadow in the Warp, you're like, great, I'm gonna give this order, and then the Shadow in the Warp happens. Um, but depending on exactly what your judge thinks about it, you get into some weird like what exactly the timing is. Do you get to give all the orders? Do you just get to give one order? Does your opponent get to wait until they've seen all the orders before calling Shadow in the Warp? Um, just have a conversation before the game happens.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you guys end up doing is, I'm pretty sure the Shadow in the Warp happened, and then you just gave orders to whatever wasn't Battle Shock at the end. I
Yeah,
think.
that's what we did.
Yeah, which is also totally reasonable. That is one of the interpretations. Not, not gonna sweat it. So from here, we got a little bit unlucky that this guy failed. Right.
Hmm.
Like that's just, maybe we can give this guy a +1, but I think he still would have failed either way. Okay. So let's go ahead, take a look at the game state now. What are our goals in this game?
I had to clear out the the natural again.
Hmm.
I had to clear out the natural, and then I was going to place that scout
Hmm.
that's in the terrain. I was going to move him down and place him there once I could finally clear it out.
Hmm.
And once I cleared it out, I would then start moving out and kind of getting into those two middle objectives. Because to me, at that point, I was like, okay, if I can clear, what is it? The winged hive tyrant
Hmm.
there, I can't figure out what the
This is a Flyrant. This is the emissary. The or
emissary.
no, this
Okay,
is I think this is a simulator actually. These are
this is later.
Raveners, and this is the Zoanthropes.
Yeah, I figured if I can just get that even just a little bit cleaned off, I can make up some ground in
Yeah,
the next two turns.
yeah.
So,
I mean, that's basically it. I will say that I was talking to David Purcell, who shows up on the channel every now and then. We were talking about this position. We agree that the game is still winnable from here. Okay. You can
yep,
still win the game from this position, but as we'll talk about in a moment, not with the way you end up doing it. Okay.
yeah,
So, a couple of things. You end up drawing secure and display. Secure and display. Okay. I remember you did a count. I'll do a quick count. So, it's Raveners, Zoanthropes, Norn, Flyrant, and a Lictor. Maybe two Lictors. It
yeah.
looks like
She
six.
she she had one basically at like her second natural there
Yeah, this guy.
that my scout is on. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a
So you
model
got
there.
looks like one, two, three, four, five, six, I think.
Hmm.
Um, okay. We're gonna write this again. Secure display. Uh, six. Okay. So, interestingly, display does not care about battle shock. Okay. That's funny. So,
Hmm.
firstly, how we want to do a couple of things, right? Amelia is threatening to score another five on primary here, right? She is threatening another five on here. She's not currently touching this. So our opponent can never score more than a 10 on primary here, right?
Yep.
Um, how how can we like this can't do anything about this side of the board, right? It's just too far away.
Yeah.
However, I figured out how to do an eraser. Um, we can have one unit score us uh, scores 5 points, deny 5 points, and count towards display of might. How can we do that with just one unit?
Get the casterkin out.
Mm-hmm. And what are they doing?
At, at the top, they would get out and move onto her natural,
Mm-hmm.
and it would out OC that lictor that's on there.
Yep.
And then, so that would deny
Yep.
that
So that gets rid
primary
of
there.
this.
Hmm.
Okay.
Could move. I mean, at this point, could move that Dorn. Well, we're still talking about the Chimera right
We're still
now.
talking about the Kazakhin, actually. Yeah.
Oh, the Casterkin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So one of the big things that you kind of do with your imagery a lot is like this is like a blob, more or less, right? These guys came in as like a blob,
hmm,
but the Kazakhin can come out and you can put two guys here and a guy here and string them out like this,
oh man.
right? Like
Yep.
that one unit of Kazakhin has now scored us 5 points on secure by itself. It has denied 5 points of primary, and it is now wholly in no man's land, so it counts towards display of might.
Caster can auto include. I'm
Kazakhin,
I'm 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 so locked in now.
yeah,
This. Oh my goodness.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kazakhin, good stuff. So they can do that, right? That solves a ton of problems all on its own, and this Chimera can like set itself up like over here or something because Lictor's only one OC. Um, This guy, I think this guy's 5, might be 6 OC, whatever. It's a lot. But we can also have the Chimera in such a spot where it can move over here in order to re-threaten it next turn again. Right? We do not have to bring this Chimera out. But anyway, so we've solved half of our problems on the board. Okay. Um,
Yep.
Over here, let's talk about this Dorn. Okay. What should this Dorn be doing?
That Dorn should be going between 2 and 3 and shooting at those zoanthropes.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
my God.
Okay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's
They
that's
were right
exactly it.
there.
Yep. Okay. Now, what about you got really unlucky in that your engine seer died and gave up 5 assassination points? That's unlucky. That shit happens. Um, the rest of this is where we get into some funny split fire stuff. Okay. So the first thing that we want, this this didn't move. And I was not happy about that. Why am I not happy about that?
Gotta move. Gotta get out
Why?
there. And well, I mean, I
There's a very specific and maybe easier reason than you're thinking.
yeah, I'm probably overthinking it. Hmm. Oh, Melta too. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're missing out on a theoretical 8 damage because we are not within 9 of anything.
Joshi, I honestly, I kind of have like this mental block. I get like when I get to 18, I'm like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
good to go because like I guess I also have in my head psychologically that I don't want to get tagged
Hmm.
if it doesn't go
Oh,
the way
don't.
that I
We are
want
going
to.
to talk about that a lot in a moment.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Okay. So that's one of the things we want this to ideally be within 9 of this guy. Ideally, which should be very possible. It's a little bit awkward based on like how things are positioned, but if you move the Dorn first, so I want to go back to one of the things that we were talking about. What in their army can kill? It's a credible threat to our tanks.
Zoanthropes,
Mm-hmm.
the Norn,
Mm-hmm.
the Simulator for sure,
Mm-hmm.
and then the T-Fex.
Yes. Okay. What did we not include in that list?
The Winged Hive Tyrant, the
Yes.
Raveners.
Yes, also true. So if it's not a credible threat to our tanks, what can we do?
Just
Steel Spider got
ignore
it
them.
right. Nope.
Yeah. Well,
Even better than that. I mean, we can do that, but even better than that.
put the big guns onto the main threats and
True. Yes.
just put the smaller stuff into like the Raveners and the Winged Hive Tyrant, which is a
Do
monster.
you ever see that meme of a commissar sticking out of the top of a tank? He's got a sword. What is he saying?
I haven't seen this.
Oh my god. Okay, I will send this to you real quick.
Yeah, you have to send it to me.
Okay, okay. So this is a very famous image, and I'm gonna show this to you. I'm gonna make it bigger for people on screen.
Try them closer when I hit them with my sword.
You're laughing at
Okay.
this, but this is very real. Okay, so let's go back. The flying hive tyrant is not a threat to our tanks. So what can we do?
Get in there for a tank shock?
Even simpler than the tank shock, we can charge it.
Just try could could charge and maybe out OC it too. If we can get
Exactly.
onto the point.
Mm-hmm. Our Dorn is 5 OC. It's got like a 1% chance of dying to the flying hive tyrant. And if it dies to that 1%, fuck us, I guess, like
Yeah.
but it's going to live 99% of the time. so we can charge it. I don't
Okay.
even know if the Flying Hive Tyrant, I think it literally, if it hits and wounds and we fail everything, I still don't know if we die. Right?
Yeah,
We
I don't
can,
think it hits that hard.
yeah. And we're still getting 4 up saves against almost all of its melee. Like, you know? We might take like 6 to 10 damage. But guess what? That means we're not dead. So, with that in mind, what do we want to do? Let's start with this Dorn. What is this Dorn doing? This is number 1, this is number 2. What is number 1 doing?
The Dorn should drop the assimilator,
Yep.
right?
Well, that's part of it. Let's talk
I
about
believe
movement. Where
even
is it moving?
should yeah, it should just move about as close as you can without getting into engagement range with them both, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This guy is charging right on up.
Yep.
Okay. What is this guy doing? What is number 2 doing?
Number two, because it's Kim, I mean, man, interesting. Oh, yeah, I'll move up and do melted too.
There you go. This guy
Yeah,
within 9 inches of this guy. Okay.
insurance
Um,
policy.
yeah, I mean, it's also just more damage. This guy's going to
True.
come out and point at something for reroll ones. It's actually going to point at this guy. We'll talk about that in a moment. And this guy, he's coming out somewhere in here. I would love for him to put his nose on here if it's possible. If it's not, whatever. Um, yeah.
Joshi, I wish you could see me right now. I have my hands on my head, like when a team's losing the football game, the coach is
They're
just
like,
like, I can't believe
no.
this is go.
Yeah.
Oh my
All
God.
right, Larry. Remember how I said, so if you hand me the game in this position, it's still winnable. Okay.
Yep.
Are you ready to be really upset at past Larry?
Oh, I'm ready to be sick. Let's do it. Jesus Christ.
So what did we not do?
We didn't do literally. I mean, we did move the scout around
Mm-hmm.
to do the rerolls.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't move the Dorn at all. I don't think. I
I don't
didn't
think
move the
so.
Lehman at
Mm-mm.
all. I think. Oh my God. I moved. What was my secondaries?
Secure and
I
display.
moved the Chimera back
Mm-hmm.
and didn't take the Casterkin out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I
Yeah.
was cooked. I
Yeah.
was cooked at this point. That was the game.
This move right here was probably I was like screaming at my monitor when I watched this.
Oh my goodness.
I was just like, no, that's the wrong direction, Larry. Um,
If any of the if any of the things pointed out here, the Casterkin getting out and getting onto that point was probably the least consequential out of all of these because it was honestly that easy. Now I probably wouldn't have thought about moving on to the 2 points for sure,
fair.
but I had the thought of getting out and moving on to the point, but something I don't know what it was. I saw the zoanthropes down range, and I was like, "Oh crap!"
Yeah.
Like I don't know why in round three I didn't want to risk it.
Yeah.
But I think that's the reason why I kept them in the Chimera.
Yeah. But you just gotta. Because remember, how many points did we give up? Or how many points did we not score and our opponent was allowed to score because
That's
of the
10
Kazakh
points.
there? That is 10 points.
Yep.
Hmm.
I can't. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. I want to talk about this guy really quick. So there's 2 reasons why he was not allowed to do the challenger card. What are they?
It's an action, and I was battle shocked.
And
What's the I don't know the challengers by heart
it
just
doesn't
yet,
matter. It's an
but
action. That's the most relevant part.
gotcha. It's an action.
Hmm.
I know I had to be fifth. It wasn't it.
It's like
Wasn't
15
it?
inches away from all of our units, I think it was.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's
Okay.
not that wasn't an
Friendly
issue.
units. Hmm.
What's the other reason? So battle shocked is one of the reasons why you can't do it. What's the other reason why you can't do it?
Hmm. I don't know, Joshi.
He fell back.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. You have to be eligible to shoot to
Mm-hmm.
do an action. Yep.
Yep. So
Yep.
again, I'm not sweating the rules, but just something to think about. This guy was not eligible, and also that's part of why we would have loved for him to have been dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So big thing. So this is a rules error. It is what it is. This is probably the most consequential thing that we did wrong. The one other thing, this coming out here means that he is now not touching these until it's way too late. But there's also one other thing, or these guys need to come. Okay, and now there's one other thing. We're gonna ask, what is the difference between these two pictures?
What's the difference between these two pictures?
There's one other important difference.
Oh, Melta too for sure.
Yes, yes.
The pictures is that the Lehman and the Rogel did not move
That's
an
true.
inch.
We're gonna talk. We're
Uh,
talking about a unit that we have not talked about at all so far.
Mycadians and Ursula.
Yeah, they're whatever. I'm
Oh,
not that worried
oh.
about it.
Which unit?
I'll
I'm
give you a hint.
looking.
They do not exist in this picture.
Oh. uh,
Yeah, Steel Spider. The train moved a little bit. Yeah, but that happens. It's actually really funny. I want to show. So just this has nothing to do with the actual game. But if we go like
okay.
this, do you see how much like the terrain shifts over the course of the game?
Uh-huh.
It's funny. Like
Yeah.
this is not. It's not relevant to like the point of
Oh,
it.
okay.
I just pointed out to chat. There's a unit that is missing in this picture.
What is the unit? Oh, the scout. Wait, the scout.
Uh-huh.
Wait, yeah, my scout.
Uh-huh. Now, I don't know if this is within 18, but it looks like it probably is.
Very well could have been.
Yeah. Well, I guess
Yeah.
probably within 18. This guy didn't need to move. Right?
Yeah.
And now,
Yeah.
if he's
Oh,
alive,
Amelia shot the Overwatch, didn't she?
yeah, I think it was a zone throw Overwatch.
It was an over. Yep.
Yep. And so now, like, if this tank had come out over here, it would have had reroll ones, and we would have had something on here that our opponent now needs to deal with for primary purposes.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So, from this position, so the big difference between this position and this position is if we go from here and like these come out and we have a string of guys here and this tank, I don't know if this is possible, but if it is, and then this tank is like this and this tank is like this and this is like chilling here, something like this, we're now threatening to score primary, right? We are now
Yep.
in a position where on our next turn, on turn 4, we are potentially getting primary. In this one, we are not going to score primary until turn 5 at the earliest, right? And we
Yep.
need both of those turns of primary in order to have a chance of coming back. Okay.
Yeah.
So here, let's go ahead and take. We'll click through into the shooting. We actually killed most of these things. We killed public enemy number 2. I think we actually killed all of these Raveners.
We did. Yep.
And then, but notice, public enemy number 1 is still alive.
Yep.
So, yeah. So from here,
Yep.
what can we do from this position? From this position, the game is still probably lost. But what can we do from this position in order to give ourselves the best chances of still having an opportunity?
Hmm. Well, I do believe if I'm starting from the top,
Mm-hmm.
we are in we're at the top of three.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe I can get my Chimera into action. Get
Sorry.
the
Just in the
cash.
shooting phase. What can we do in the
Oh,
shooting
shooting
phase and
phase.
the charging
Shooting
phase?
phase.
Yeah.
I mean, this right here. I mean, okay. Are we saying that my movement's already done and we're just in
Yeah.
shooting?
From this position, we're doing
Oh
shooting.
man. Um. Hmm.
What up, Mighty Quinn? Thanks for joining.
The Dorn.
Mm-hmm.
The Dorn could take. What I would probably do in this situation, and I don't know if this is what I did, but the Dorn that's farthest back,
This one?
I would shoot at the nope the one that's closest to my board edge.
Cool.
Um, I would take the shots at the assimilator,
Mm-hmm.
see if it dies. If it doesn't die, I'm taking the Lehman Russ that's poking the trad out, and I would try and finish off the assimilator.
Mm-hmm.
I really, I was, of course, pointing the ones for the Dorn with the Scout Sentinel doing during recon there.
Mm-hmm.
If I believe I also split fired. I'm not entirely sure. I think I did
I think you
split
have to,
fire
yeah.
something at the Raveners.
Yeah.
Something killed the Raveners.
It was
I
one of the
just forgot.
Dorns. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I probably would have taken the Dorn that's closest to no man's land
Mm-hmm.
and taken some shots at the Tyrannifex. I did have line of sight because he shot at me
Yeah.
from that position. The Zoanthropes. Actually, hold on. Oh wait, I'm looking at it. I actually had a shot at the Zoanthropes.
Yes, you did. You could have overwatched them, in fact.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
They were there. It
They
was
were
wide
there.
open. I don't think I was a Melta, given
You
how
might
bad
be
I
with an
moved.
18, but you're definitely not getting +2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah.
So I think we're a little bit off track. So the biggest thing right now, again, I was talking to David Purcell quite a bit about this. The first thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that this guy is not, like, this needs to not be getting cover, right? So unfortunately, it is getting cover from a bunch, maybe all of our tanks, actually. Um, but we actually take this and we shoot it first, okay? And it's going to put everything into the Norn, and we're going to pop fields of fire here, okay?
Hmm.
The big reason for that is this is at AP1, it is the least likely to do damage to like the Raveners because they're basically all in cover. But AP5 Meltas, if it's not getting cover, means that the Norn does not have a save. Okay, every Melta wound we do is just straight damage. I rolled
Oh
this out a
man.
couple of times. If you're getting Melta 2, it is not ridiculous that the Norn dies to the Limeras. Just straight up. And
Wow.
most of the time,
Especially with the rerolls.
yeah. Because you just go for lethals here. You can fish, you don't need to, it's about the same. But you just go, and for every lethal you roll, that is just D6 plus 2 damage straight through. Okay. So if you get like 3 of those and you get lucky, that is very plausibly a dead Norn. Right? So that's the first thing that we're trying to do. The other big thing is we are now going to be taking this guy, and we want to shoot all of it at the Raveners. Okay.
Okay.
We don't care about this. We're not killing it from this position, and it's far enough like on the other side of the board that it's just kind of hanging out at this point. If our Dorn dies from this position, so be it. It's taken multiple shots from the Tyrannifex. Like, we're kind of lucky that it's still alive at all. Um, but we want to get these Raveners gone because one, that is one of the biggest tools that your opponent has for mobility, and also it's just OC on the point that we want gone. Okay.
Gotcha.
Next, we're gonna take this Dorn. We will put like Meltas and stuff into here to try and kill off whatever models are remaining. But then we are going to ignore the Flying Hive Tyrant and shoot everything at the Zoanthropes. Why are we ignoring the Flying Hive Tyrant?
Because it doesn't hit that hard. It's not a threat.
Yeah. What's the other reason why we are not shooting the Flying Hive Tyrant?
You guys are going to charge into it.
Yeah. I'm going to
Yep.
guess this is about an 8, is my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just go for that charge, and then depending on what we roll, it's very possible for us to just like, you know, put our gun and then like one tread on the point. So this will be gone, this will be gone, this will be gone, and now we are at least threatening to hold this objective next turn.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow.
hmm Makes sense? Makes sense?
This is very, very insightful.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is what actually happened. We killed all of this, so they're not holding this, but public enemy number 1 is still alive. They're still here. We have had
Yeah.
2 chances to shoot them, and we have done. I think one of them died from like an explosion or something.
Yeah. Yeah. The
something exploded.
Somebody exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're now in a position where we are going to get a 0 on primary, right? And we are at
Yep.
0 primary for the game. Our opponent's going to get a 5. So, this is at a 10. I think these Raveners actually did die. Yeah. But at this point, Amelia just kind of rinses and repeats, goes for some charges.
Yep.
I think the Dorn like lives through shooting. Yeah. And at this point, the game is like, this doesn't really matter. Clicking through. Yeah, none of this really matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so let's kind of go back and talk about what is actually actionable about the things we've been talking about. So I want to start as early as deployment. What can we do differently, and why are we doing it differently?
I think I had the wrong idea as to how to use the Hellhounds.
Uh-huh.
That has completely changed now.
Good.
Those Hellhounds are going to be in places where they need to be next time. The Dorn, my Dorn, if this wasn't like layout 2, my Dorn's just out of action completely for a turn or two. There's no telling. I got to get the Dorns up. Scouting.
Yes.
You can scout and scout back.
Exactly.
Or
You can
move
always
back.
go back. You can always go
know?
back. You can't necessarily go as far forward.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. My vision, my understanding on the consequences of scouting have changed as well. And
for what it's worth,
go ahead.
if you had gone second, these are good scouts. Right? If you had gone second. But because you're going first, just go. We're going forward. We're going directly at them. We want the movement because it might matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to Nick at the event. He was there, and he would tell me, he was like, there's nothing more satisfying than putting your scout on the line, scouting up, and then moving another 19 inches and doing like just insane things turn 1.
Yes, absolutely.
And stuff.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's talk about the primary. What are we trying to do with this game? How are we trying to hold firstly our natural?
Oh, the Casterkin.
Why? Why
the
are they there?
Casterkin to hold the objective Papa duty and honor if I need it.
Why are
It's
they there and not like why are they here and not like here?
oh, because they protect it from getting shot at or getting
Absolutely.
charged at
Yep.
1.1.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible to 1.1 on this side of the wall, but
Actually, yeah. Yeah, I
yeah,
don't think
but
so.
the idea is they are safe. Nothing can get to them. The only way our opponent denies us is if they give us way too many resources to get us off this objective. Okay.
Yep.
Uh,
Agreed.
how about this? What are we doing with this objective?
Um, Going back to our, our pre-deployment talks,
Hmm.
me and Amelia, we should have, decided on whether we could actually tow
Hmm.
from inside of the ruin. That's the first thing. But that hellhound, I could have come around the corner and put
Hmm.
something there, and that would have made her dedicate something to come after
Hmm.
and try and get me off of it. Therefore, exposing, her bug to me shooting at it and killing it.
Exactly. Now, one of the things that we didn't talk about at the very beginning of the game, do you remember what orders you gave here?
What is this? Turn one?
Yep, top of one.
I don't remember, man.
You gave a lot of take aims.
I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I don't know
What
what I
what
was
should
doing.
you have given instead?
Oh, move, move, move.
Hmm.
Easily.
What are we giving move to?
Uh, could have gave move, move, move to the scouts for sure.
Hmm.
Possibly to the hellhounds if they were in the right spot.
Hmm.
Um, the chimera. Well, I don't think actually.
Realistically,
I think
we're probably
I was
telling
too far away.
we're probably just telling these two guys move, right?
Move,
Like
move,
this is
move. Okay.
gonna order both. I would love for this tank to like move down to like here or something, but this one can be take aim. But other than that, just give move. If especially on top of one, if you don't have a specific reason to give a different order, it's almost always move to just everything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, we're putting stuff on this objective just to make our opponent deal with it, and then of course, like you said, have that conversation. Okay. This objective, what are we trying to do about it?
Oh man. I mean, I should have harassed it with the chimera and the casterkin.
Hmm.
I would have had the point hands down. I had way more OC.
Yeah.
Way more.
So how
Even with
how do
just
we set that up?
on the line, scout, move, move, move.
Hmm.
I probably would have been there turn one.
We don't want to be there turn one. Why do we not want to be there turn one?
Um, because you act. Oh, because no one earns primary turn one.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I went first,
Hmm.
so it actually would have made more sense to make the move turn two to deny them the primary.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
On turn one, like let's imagine that the Chimera was just touching like this or whatever. Our opponent shoots it on this angle, and we can't do anything about it. It's just giving up resources for free.
Okay. Yeah. That
So,
makes yeah.
like, if our opponent is standing on it and they draw a Storm Hostile, maybe we can do it. But realistically, we just want to safely stage. You called them harassers. It's a great word for it. We want to safely stage harassing units here to get them off. Um,
Gotcha.
Against just a lictor, it's very easy because you just need one. I think it's one OC just needs to be on the point. Against other armies, we need to devote more. Like maybe we have both Chimeras and Kazarkin over here, but in this game, we just need like one thing to do it. So staging over here. How are we dealing with this objective?
Um, could have been. I mean, it could have been the Hellhound.
Hmm.
Could have been the Hellhound. Could have been the Scout up there, up top.
Are you thinking about holding it?
Oh, I definitely just killing that lictor that's on there
Yeah, not
with the
necessarily
Hellhound
like
for
right
sure.
now, just like holistically. What are we trying to do with this objective?
with that objective, we're just denying primary
Yeah,
instead of gaining it.
yeah. We are only playing for this objective if our opponent can no longer kill us. Um, Realistically, I'm pretty sure that it's not supposed to be touchable on the other side of the wall, but I don't know 100%. But basically, the answer for this, how are we dealing with it? We kill anything that stands on it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. This one, we can't kill because there's a spot like over here that they can stand, so we need to put models here. This one, we kill it. Yeah,
Okay.
cool. I think those are the big things. Just gotta be more aggressive. I want to open it up. I've talked about all the major things that I really wanted to like focus on in this game. So what questions do you have from here about things I've said that are maybe not clear or anything else that we've spoken about that you want more insight on? And
Definitely, definitely.
real quick, also anyone in chat, if you guys have questions, also ask them now. This is a great time to ask. But go ahead, Larry.
Cool, cool. I guess my first question, Joshi,
Mhm.
is with with such a hard, deep striking army, such as subterranean, are how do we push up? How do I push up without giving up my backfill? Like how do I push up while also keeping the screen with
Yeah.
such deep striking and 6 inch stuff going on?
So
Like,
I'll answer this in a couple of different ways. The first one is, do we score primary for holding our home?
Joshi, this is actually, and I'll say it on screen, sorry, on stream. This is my first time ever playing supply drop or hidden supplies
Mm-hmm.
in a tournament setting. I think I maybe have touched this one time.
That's totally
This
reasonable. It's not
primary
very common.
mission. Yeah. To my understanding, I believe I thought you did,
You do not.
but I believe now you do not.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at my
You score
cards.
5 points for holding one objective in no man's land, another 5 points for holding two objectives in no man's land, and 5 points if you hold more objectives than your opponent. Your home
Interesting.
is not worth primary. Because of that, it's not a bad idea to screen this out, but you don't have to.
Man.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that is specific to certain missions. Supply drop, hidden supplies. You don't need to do it on Purge the Foe. I'm sure there's others that'll come to mind. But regardless, that's the first question. Do you need to hold your home? Oftentimes the answer is no. Let's assume that in general we do have to hold our home. The next thing that we have to do is when we're doing our screening, we need to ask the question: can the first thing 6-inch deep strike? Okay. In subterranean, the answer is in most subterranean builds, the answer is no. The first
No.
thing
Yep.
has to 9-inch deep strike. They can do it if they have like I think it's a Trigon or a Moloch. I don't remember which one. There's one of the big snakes that can 6-inch deep strike, and then everything else can go. But for that, we just need to screen out 9 inches everywhere in our backfield. So what we can do, this is a shorthand way to do it, but you have to think about it like in reverse. Um, this distance doesn't need to be 9 inches. This distance needs to be 18 inches. So if we have like
Gotcha.
guy here and then like Scout Sentinel like here and then like a Hell or like the Rogel Dorn like here, if this is 18 inches and this is 18 inches, we have now covered a huge amount of the board with 3 models. So we just need to continue
Interesting.
going back and forth and making sure that we can do that. So with the number of units that we actually have, we can pretty reliably screen out basically all of that to never be deep striked in almost the entire game.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think that psychologically, especially since I hadn't seen, since I hadn't played the army, I heard the word six
Hmm.
And I was like, I have to keep these bugs in front of me.
Yeah.
And I think that may have, I think it just comes with experience,
Yeah.
with reps. Now that I've seen it, I definitely know, and especially after this session,
Yeah.
I'll definitely have a way better understanding as to what's going on
Yeah, one of the
now.
big questions you have to be asking yourself, right, is what can they kill? Like what how lethal is my opponent's army? There are some times within Subterranean Assault where the answer is they can kill whatever they want. They are super, super lethal. They're going to try and kill me and score points later. That is a valid way to play. But then you also have armies like Genestealer Cults, where Genestealer Cults can kill anything in the game. They can drop down and kill God, right? It happens.
Yep.
But then you also have other armies that are like up and down, like Grey Knights, where realistically they can't kill shit. they they cannot kill any of our vehicles in shooting with any reliability. Get Good says that number could be closer to 20 to 21 based on the area unit takes up and requires to be. Yeah, absolutely. Um, in relation to point made in chat, this being 18 inches is like the simplest version of it. If it's like demons or something where they just have like massive bases, it can be even larger than that, right? Um,
Sure.
but for now, the habit I want you to get into is if just like draw 18 inches between your stuff, double check that there's not, because of the way that like circles work, just double check that there's not any like gaps with that. But 18 inches is like a good habit to be in. But yeah, there is more nuance to it. Um, anyway, going back to like the deep strike stuff, if we're playing into Grey Knights, I'm going to disrespect them. They can't kill me. Um, if I'm playing into Genestealer Cults, I am way more likely to just say, I am going to turtle up and you have to kill the outer shell of the turtle because they can kill me. So it's mostly just identify, can they kill me? If yes, with guard, we are way more likely to like turtle up, like put our hands up, make sure that they can't get in. But if they can't kill us, we are just driving directly at them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Essentially just comes down to knowing the matchup.
Yeah, knowing the matchups makes the game way easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joshi, would you believe me if I told you that this tournament was my first time ever playing Tau? Like,
Oh.
I still feel like like I've been playing over a year, but I still feel like I'm new to the game at the same time. There's so much
Absolutely. There's a
to
lot
learn.
going
So
on, and even within armies, right? There's pretty big differences depending on like what detachment people are playing. So yeah,
gotcha.
so it will take time. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's going to take time to learn things, and it is way harder for most people to play aggressively. There are going to be people who do it very naturally, but if you just play aggressively, you are way more likely to win in blowouts and lose in blowouts. And I know a lot of people are scared of that. Um, so I would recommend, like, when you play games not at GTs, um, just see how aggressively you're allowed to play, lose some games because of it, and then be like, okay, cool, that was too aggressive.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I saw your video on
yeah,
like, aggressive play, and I thought it was very insightful. So
yeah. Because whenever you go first, you have to set the tempo,
cool,
and you
cool.
you let you let Amelia set the tempo for this game.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Cool.
You want to know an interesting tidbit?
I love interesting tidbits.
Amelia, do you know which two objectives Amelia declared for singular purpose?
I thought it was this one and this one.
No, it was
No.
actually one of them. It was actually the middle two. So
Oh.
when she brought the Norns around the corner
Hmm.
like she did and just ignored them, I was like, what is going on?
Oh
Like,
wow.
yeah, the mind games were on then. It was a fun game. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I hope she's watching or someone tells her about this. It
Yeah,
was it was a
absolutely.
great time.
Yeah, I could tell that you were having a lot of fun in your games, like even as the game was like getting more and more hopeless. So that's again, thank you for having a good attitude about everything. Really quick, thank you to Nathan W for becoming a member of the channel. I really appreciate everybody who comes in and does that. So, heart, thank you. Anyway, I see. I'm going to answer a couple questions in chat. Steel Spider, hey Joshi, finally bought a Bulgrim box and attempting to make molds from throw. Oh, that's not a question, but you know, I am glad. I'm glad you're finding a way to get your Warhammer stuff for cheaper. Is there anything else? Warno Red Assault 89. Just drive Chimeras full of OC on most hold at all cost points. That also is a good way to do it. Kind of going back to here. One of the big things that you could do is just like if this Chimera was like here, such that you can disembark guys like over here, that makes it a lot harder for opponent to do things. But just being out here where you disembark here, they're still chargeable and shootable. So something to think about.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Understood.
HP Love Cats. I know you said Grey Knights is bad at shooting. Does that include the Master Dread Knights and normal Dread Knights? I believe all of their shooting is strength 10, at least before the Codex comes out, and I have not read the Codex yet. But let me double check. Dread Knight. Yeah, so the big thing about Nemesis Dread Knights is their heavy side cannons have 6 attacks, hitting on 3s, sometimes re-rolling, depending on what detachment you're playing, at 10 to 3. Okay? Ignores cover. This means that you're going to hit like 4 or 5 of them, and then into anything tougher than a Hellhound, you're going to wound 1 or 2 of them, and then we're going to save half of them. So realistically, whenever a Grandmaster or a Dread Knight shoots at a Leman Russ, you should be expecting to take 0 to 3 damage probably, and if you get unlucky, 6. Yeah. Damage 3 on the charge with sustaining lethal access. That's pretty cool. I don't want Silver World Eaters. I heard Larry explain to Nid's player that Kazakh Melta Mine inflicted 2d3 of vehicle and monster. If not mistaken, it's only for vehicle. That is true. It only does d3 against monsters. It's only vehicles that you get 2d3.
Oh,
Yeah.
I stand corrected. I will. I'll clean that up. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Larry, I hope this has been helpful. Do you have anything else you kind of want to talk about while we're here? It doesn't have to be about this game. It can be about a guard or 40k in general.
Um. I mean, thank you for giving me your time.
Absolutely.
Really to show me this is crazy insightful, and it was actually it was a rough start to the GT, but I ended it, with 2 wins, and I mean it was my first GT ever,
Yeah. And you went
and
3 and 4, right?
yep, I
Yeah,
went
it's
three
a
and
great
four,
start.
3 and 4, and like it just makes me want to go to more,
That's awesome,
like
dude.
win or lose,
Yeah.
go to more and stuff, and yeah, I mean, thank you for giving me your time and showing me some stuff and making me a better player. So
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to you winning the next one that you go to.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
Cool
So
beans. Yeah. Anyway, Larry, thank you for coming on and helping me make this content. Thanks for having a great attitude about the game as well. For everyone else who is in chat, thank you for sticking around. I hope this was informative for everyone else. I have not eaten dinner yet. Luckily, it's only 7:30 on the West Coast over here. Um, Tell him how to go against World Eaters. I'll be honest, my experience is that matchup is really hard to lose with guard.
never
uh,
lost the world eaters.
you haven't?
I've never lost the world
Yeah.
eaters.
Huge fan of the
So
channel. I
it's
love the
it's
format, by the
interesting.
way. Keep it up. Thank you so much. Get good. I hope that your stuff is going well over there on the East Coast as well. I believe I will see you at Challengers Cup. But anyway, I don't want to keep Larry here too long. Thank you guys all for tuning in. See you guys all next time. Any last words, Larry?
No, that was it, man. Thank you again. That was awesome. And yeah, man, keep the videos coming. I'll check them out.
Absolutely. All right. Have a good night, everyone. See you guys all next time. Bye bye.